Attica, Indiana is home to one of America's great off-road vehicle parks, the Badlands of Attica. This park is wonderfully diverse in trail types and geared for adventure for ORVs of all types and sizes. They even have a designated ride area for children. Just what can a Jeep do in the depths of the rugged quarries at the Badlands of Attica? We're going to journey there with venture off-road creator Tim Tull, who is your personal GPS and ORV park guide. The Badlands of Attica DVD Atlas is part of the Venture Off-Road DVD series on discovering America's ORV parks. The compelling trails of this park bring people from all over the country. It's a great place to spend a week or a weekend. And Attica itself is a charming town nestled along the beautiful Wabash River. Quaint and historic and easy to locate, as it's not far from Interstate 65. There are plenty of challenges for those who need them, and great riding opportunities for the whole family and all your ORV friends. When you come to the Badlands, plan on some real fun and challenges in all shapes and sizes. Tim Tull and Venture Off-Road present the Badlands Off-Road Park of Attica, Indiana. We will get there with Tim Tull and Venture Off-Road.
Welcome to the Venture Off-Road video series. My name's Tim and I'll be your host. This weekend we're going to introduce you to the Badlands ORV Park located in Attica, Indiana. The Badlands is one of the most diverse ORV parks in the Midwest. It offers over 700 acres of trails, all of varying terrain and difficulty. Whether your truck is a bone stock daily driver or a heavily modified rock crawler, this park was built with you in mind. We're going to highlight each of the trail systems in the park as well as some of our favorite obstacles. The Badlands has always been one of my favorite places to ride, and today we'll show you why. The Green Trail runs around the southern perimeter of the 700-acre park. It's rated as the easiest of the 4 trails that the Badlands has to offer, and that's where we'll start our trip. It's also the most diverse trail in the park. Water, rock, mud, sand, hills, holes, you name it, the Green Trail has it. The Green Trail starts with a series of steep berms. With the exception of the constant up and down playing tricks on the carbureted trucks, this area is typically easy. The ground here is firm and there are no surprises. A stock truck should have no trouble here. As you come out of the berms, the trail runs through a large bowl that at first glance appears to be a sand dune. As you get into this area, it doesn't take long to realize what you're actually driving on is something a little closer to pea gravel. Although the trail runs right through this area, if you're into sand dunes and hill climbs, this is a great place to stop and play for a while. From the dune area, the trail runs down a short access road and into a tightly treed and winding section of trail. If you look to the left, you can catch a quick glimpse of the rock quarry and sections of the red trail. We'll make it into that area tomorrow. The conditions and difficulty in the woods will vary greatly. It all depends on the weather and how many people have driven through before you. For example, the entrance is usually a solid, easy climb. But today we found it to be a slimy, washed out mess. Stan offered to lead this trail for us, so he was the first to give it a try. He made a valiant effort, but got a little too close to the bank and found himself wedged in. He needed a quick pull from the winch to get free. This section of trail also offers several short and fairly easy rock climbs and ledges. They are just the right difficulty level for this trail, and it makes a great place for newer guys to gain both experience and confidence. After following a sloppy mess of trail through the woods for a while, we ended up at a steep and slimy downhill. The hill was slick enough that drivers had to be careful not to lock up tires. To avoid accidents, we were careful not to bunch up on the way down. Once you reach the bottom, the trail continues to the right down a rocky creek bed. Alongside the creek, you'll also find a large rock outcrop. We found that there were already several well-built Jeeps playing on some of the more aggressive lines. We took a short time out to relax and enjoy the show. After a few minutes, we pushed on and headed down the creek bed. There's a certain cool factor that goes hand in hand with this section of trail. It's not horribly difficult, but there's a mystique about driving down a rocky creek bed surrounded by lush green forest. The creek normally has a hard rock and sand bottom. The only scary things here are known as washouts. After a good rain, the current can pick up enough to wash out certain sections of the creek bed, creating large holes underwater. The holes can be hard to see until you're in one, and the water depth can go from a few inches to several feet in the blink of an eye. The trail follows the creek for quite a ways, and eventually runs through a large culvert. The choices here are to go out and around the culvert, or it's actually large enough to drive a Jeep through. Whether you go around or through, you'll end up back in the creek. The easiest way out from here is to follow the creek bed to the end. However, you'll quickly notice that there are several muddy two-tracks running off into the woods. Most of the holes here are manageable. However, there are a few capable of swallowing a Jeep whole. Ben was nice enough to let Clark know this hole was only about 6 inches deep. Clark never stopped to think why Ben didn't drive through it himself. Instead, he eased the diesel up to speed, pointed the Wagoneer at the mud, and found out quickly how deep it really was. While Clark was busy wenching, some of the crew managed to convince the guys from Extreme Off-Road Parts that they could make it where Clark had not. Sure they would be heroes, they smashed the skinny pedal to the floor and went for it. Although they didn't make it, it sure was fun to watch. Their failure had nothing to do with the lack of effort. On came the hip boots, and out went another winch cable.